Hello everybody, this is Sprig and Web What If back here with part 3 of What If Deku Was a Mutant. Let's get into it. So, what do you want to say, Katsuki? Deku? It's not Deku, it's Zuku! Still, what do you want to say to me, Katsuki? Well, I thought you died all those years ago, or at least moved schools. No, he did, that version of me did die. But it was years after I was taken away from this life here. The reason that I was gone for all those years was because I was being experimented on. Because I didn't have a quirk, as you would know. I had the mutant gene. Don't know how. Most likely that psychopath of a dad's part of the family. My psychopathic of a dad's part of this family. Katsuki! Katsuki! I thought we were going to go home together. Well, if it isn't the cheating hoe, it's Sharko. Deku, it's Izuku to you, you damn hoe. Hoe, what do you mean? You don't think I didn't know about it, don't you? Well, before I broke up with you, like a week before, I saw you and Katsuki having sex. Think I'm deaf and blind? Not. I was hurt by this. Why do you think I wasn't talking to you for that last week? Well, I'm leaving anyway. As Izuku pulls off the necklace that had the top part of his that had the headpiece of his motorcycle, as he threw it on the ground, it summoning his motorcycle. As in out pops Dilemma and Viperion. Really, Izuku? We're gonna go right now? We just got to meet these two bastards. Yeah, but aren't you guys hungry? Because I know I am. Yeah, but can't we stay a little bit longer? Why? Well, because I kind of want to see what happens if we escalate it a little bit more. Fine. What about you, Vengeance? I'm fine with whatever. I don't need to eat. Spirit, for crying out loud. True. Okay, well, we'll continue on with it. Okay, how should I start this? Katsuki, how's your mum? Jackass. How do you know? You know. Well, of course I do. I heard my mum talking to your dad, to your mum, after that whole situation. I guess he just had enough of her, and you. Damn, Deku. Don't mention that in front of me. Why? Because you're part of a dysfunctional family? Welcome to the club, jackass. As Katsuki sent an explosion towards Izuku, this causing Izuku to throw the fire to a different side, bending the explosion to avoid him. As then, once Izuku finished bending the fire away from him, he grabbed Katsuki's wrist and snapped it. Well, that was fun. As then after he snapped it, he then flipped him over his shoulder, making an imprint onto the ground, with some people hearing a crack as well as a thud. As then a crowd was drawn. As then Izuku says out loud, "You're not worth it. You're too weak, and I'm afraid that I might kill you. Luckily, I want to become a hero. Otherwise, I would have." As Izuku heals Katsuki besides the wrist, as then he jumps on his motorcycle and leaves. As that put like around half an hour later, he is eating at a fast food restaurant, just munching away. As then, while he was there, the two people came in, a young girl and an older woman. As then, um, they a couple minutes go by, them finishing their order. As Izuku's finished his meal. As then, um, Izuku gets up and is leaving. Well, first he goes to the restroom, then as washes his hands. But when he's going to the exit door, he sees the same woman, but she's being sexually assaulted. As he decides to go up to the guy and say, you really aren't being a gentleman. You know that, right?" As the guy says, "Mind your own business, kid." "I bet I'm more of a man than you." "What'd you say to me, you damn brat?" Did I stutter, bitch?" "Yeah, you damn kid," as he throws a punch at him. This landing in Izuku's face. As then Izuku decides, in his mind says, "Dilemma, Vaporeon, vengeance, show your faces." As on his right shoulder, Vaporeon, left shoulder, Dilemma, and above his head, vengeance. "I'd like you to meet my friends. This guy here, he's the spirit of vengeance. His alternate persona, most people know him, Ghost Rider. And these guys here, they're kind of related to Venom and Carnage." As the man decides, really, as he runs off scared for his life. As the woman thanks him, gets a close look at him, saying, "Izu, is it really you?" "Mom?" As Izuku catches up with his mum, and then around half an hour later, as they get to Inko's house, as Inko asks Izuku where he's been and that she's safe, that he escaped from the program. As Izuku asks what program, the program as Inko replies with the program to turn mutants into weapons. "Sorry that I brought you into this." As Izuku says, it's fine. As then the little kid comes in. "Mom, who's the big guy, big man here?" So it's like, Izumi, this is your brother Izuku." As in Izuku's head, he's talking with Dilemma, Viperion, and the Spirit and Vengeance. As Izuku in his head, this going 24 hours. I have a sister. Going like constantly around in his head. I have a sister. I have a sister. I have a sister. Who's the father? As then, um, Izuku asks, "Mom, who's this kid, and what do you mean by I'm her big brother?" "Well, when two people I know that. Just okay, then who's the father?" David Shield. David Shield. Is Izuku in his head saying, my sister's father is David Shield. Where have I heard that name from?" As then it clicks in his head as he says out loud, "David Shield," as in the really smart scientist, the quirkless scientist. The same. He's saying, You and him? Yeah? Okay. Well, can I... What's her... Please, can I take Izumi here to, say, the park so we can chat? Sure, Izu. As Izuku and Izumi leave, with Inko there contemplating how the hell he got out of the mutant weapon program. As before Izuku and Izumi leave, Izuku says, "I'll tell you all about it when we get back." As Izuku and Izumi head off to the park. As then when they're at the park, Izuku introduces Vengeance, Dilemma, and Vaporeon to Izumi. Her being interested, never seeing an actual symbiote and up close. So she's really curious. As she asks if she can touch them. As he says that you can touch Dilemma and Vaporeon, but you're not touching Vengeance. He is a literal flaming skull. So, Izumi, how old are you? 6, I think. Well, okay. So that would mean... Okay. So... Um... What's your quirk, Izumi? Telekinesis. Nice. You got one, you got a quirk. Do you want me to show you my powers? As Izuku summons a small fireball in his hand, as then he turns it off, as then he falls out of a ice. As then in his hand, he creates a tiny out of one of his fingers, he shoots out a tiny syringe tip. As she says, "You have multiple quirks?" No. You know the X-Men, like Wolverine, Professor X. You know all them. I'm a mutant like them. But I was experimented on, which gave me some of their powers. As then, out of he turns his hand into a fist as he pops small claws going out about like 3 centimeters out. As she says, "Wow, you got Wolverine's claws, cool." As then Izuku replies with, "Yeah, I do. You know your heroes pretty well." Well, I found a whole bunch of these books in the attic, and they were all about heroes. Seems like you found my notebooks. They were yours? They were very detailed. Thanks. As then Yuzuki says, "You want to go get some ice cream?" She replies with, "Yeah." And they go off to get ice cream, and then they head back to Inko's apartment. And you're probably wondering, how there was an addict in an apartment. They moved houses. So, and then Izuku gets there as he sees this, sees a car pulled up in front of the, in front of the apartment. As Yumi sees it and recognizes it, saying, "Ah, Daddy's here." And Izuku hearing this, "Daddy?" As Izumi runs up the stairs, Izuku trying to follow her, but him just trying to break the entire apartment, going blitzing speeds. As when they get home, Izuku sees Izumi clinging to David's pants. Well, as she then picks her up, and then um he then asks who Izuku was. As Izuku introduced himself, "I am Izuku Midoriya. Nice to meet you." "You mean Inku's kid? The one that Yes, yes, the one that was experimented on. Well, I wasn't gonna mention it, but it's fine. It's fine. So you and my mom, how'd that happen? As he blushes as he deflects the question, and then um they catch up as Izuku tells Inko what he's been doing for the past few years, how he's got a job, and how he's thinking that he might be getting into the hero quest very soon. As she says that you were still planning to go UA. Yep, yep. As then it becomes like sunset. As Izuku goes back to his house. As he says, "Well, I'll see you whenever." As Inko, David, and Izumi say bye. As around half an hour later, Izuku's home. And when he gets home, Vengeance, Dilemma, and Viperion, appear, showing themselves like on his shoulders and above his head. Like so they start talking, and they start saying that your sister's like nice, but nicer than you. Well, she is my sister, but she didn't have the dad that I did. Hmm. Luckily, he's dead now. As we go to a we get a flashback to a 4-year-old Izuku. As then um we're at the point where Hasashi is still there. As then um as then he's it's this is at the point where after Izuku got his quirk tested to see if he had a quirk. So when they got home, Inko went out to a job, and Hasashi was babysitting Izuku. Him being depressed, thinking that his son would have had an amazing quirk, but being disappointed that his son was quirkless. As then, um, he just snaps as he grabs a knife from the kitchen bench, and as well as a no, just a knife, as he goes up to baby Izuki while he's sleeping and slashes at him. Getting a deep cut on Izuki's back. This waking Izuku up. Him feeling the pain as he starts screaming and kicking Isashi, and then running away. As then, by after like 5 minutes, Hisashi gets up and starts chasing Izuku. As Izuku tries to get outside, as he's screaming this whole entire time. As then, um, um, Izuku starts running away from Hisashi, trying to get away from him. As then, around 15 minutes go by of Izuku running away from Hisashi, the police have been called. And at this point, Hisashi is leaning over Izuku, knife in hand, it dripping of blood. As then, before, when the cops show up, they point their guns at Hisashi, saying, "Stick him up." As he tries to go for one more, Izuku is hiding back first, in like the back of a dark room. In the back of a corner of the building. As right as they're about to shoot Hisashi gets one more clean cut, making an X shape on Izuku's back. These are both deep cuts. But by the time the ambulance get there, Izuku's passed out and his back is covered in blood. As the ambulance calls Inko's mum, Hazashi being killed that day, as well as his funeral being Izuku going to hospital. This leaving two huge ass scars on Izuku's back. And remember, he kept these scars through his entire life. They're a memento that he hates his dad. More than Todoroki, actually. He hates his dad more than Todoroki hates his. As then we go back to present day Izuku. As then this memory being caused from Izuku's fight with Katsuki. And around a week goes by as Izuku has got his acceptance letter, and around like another week later he heads off to UA. This being a college, this them having dorms now, but a day before that they go into the dorms. Izuku sets up, brings anything that he needs, as well as a whole box full of chocolates for Dilemma and Viperion, because if it's either chocolates or human beings, and Izuku would prefer them eating chocolates. As then we go to the next day, this being the first day of UA. As we go to Izuku being the first one there, him waking up early, doing a whole training session, showering, and then then arriving at school. Him noticing Aizawa on the floor, him putting his earbuds in and listening to music. As then give me a second. As around an hour goes by and everybody shows up, Izuku sitting like in the back corner where the window is. As then Aizawa does Aizawa shows up. It took you 15 minutes to be quiet. As then Aizawa says, everybody put in their training uniforms and that they should go out to testing ground, Gamma, I'm pretty sure it was. As then, a couple minutes go by, Izuku just showing up in regular casual wear. Also, since it's a college, there's a choice to wear the uniform, but there's also a choice to where you can wear like the whole gym uniform. But Ida is still like a stickler for rules, saying it's for some things, saying that they should have worn that Izuku was the only one that wore casual clothes, since he didn't really care about, since it did say in like the thing that they didn't have to wear the that they didn't have to wear the school uniform or wear any of the school clothes. But when they get out, Aizawa was waiting there with Izuku, since Izuku was like the first one out, since he just went to the training ground at Alpha. As at this point Izuku has his jacket around his waist and he's just wearing his sleeveless hoodie. No fire undershirt. As then it commences with Aizawa throwing the ball to Izuku, saying that he got the highest score, so he needs to show them what they got. As Izuku just tests the ball, seeing how heavy it is, him asking Aizawa for the heaviest ball that they have, as they decide to bring out a bowling ball. Don't know why, I just chose a bowling ball. As Izuku picks it up, saying that this is better, as he lines it up, as he contains all his hatred and anger, as well as turns that whole entire arm into the his demon form arm. As he chucks it with his, like bright as he does, his muscles expanding, which is gives it a huge throw, as well as he uses his fire manipulation to shoot a gust of fire out like right after this, sending the ball straight towards, like straight past the moon. Well, actually the sun, skimming it, saying that there was an error, as it kept as Alice Meter said, error. Distance is too long to measure. As Izuku says that that's probably because it's out of the solar system. As Aizawa has the shocked look on his face, but he's smiling, saying that he is going to be an interesting one to train. As then Izuku puts his music back on and continues with the rest of the tests. Him breaking the strength test. With the speed one, they do it individually. He got the best. He speeded. It looked like he teleported basically. This saying 0.0000001 of a second. As then he just wins all of them, getting first place for all of them. Izuku coming out first. Then it's Katsuki being fueled by anger, Todoroki, Momo, and then Moneta last. As Moneta gets kept in, since he also has some upper body strength, since this is a college instead of a high school. So he decided to put on some muscle. I usually take Moneta out, but with this one I might as well keep him in. As then let's skip to the next day. As they can hear the whole stomping as All Might comes in the room. Everybody being shocked to see All Might, the number one hero, besides Zuko. He's just off staring out outside the window. As well as he says to put on your training gear and then head out to test City A. So they'll be doing some hero training. So when they get there, Izuku is wearing this. So this is the first thing. Then this. Then these as well. The jacket, these gloves, as well as these shoes. So essentially he's just wearing his regular stuff. As then All Might says that they'll be doing heroes vs villains. And so this will be a 2v2. As it's all like the exact same pairs, as Izuku is paired with Ochako. So he puts his music in and just starts listening to it, ignoring Ochako. Her trying to strategize with him, but Izuku just ignoring him. As it starts, as then when they get in, Izuku just says to her, "Go for the bomb. I'll meet you there in a few seconds." As in a few minutes, as a minute goes by and Katsuki is staring straight at Izuku, him having a pissed off look in his face, as Izuku says, "Well, let's begin, Katsuki." As Katsuki throws a punch and then an explosion at Izuku, this creating a small burn on Izuku, but it healing because of his hyper regeneration. Then Izuku decides to just see how strong Katsuki got, and he lets Katsuki attack him. As he gets attacked over and over and over again, and Katsuki says, "Are you even gonna fight, you damn nerd?" "I am now." As it looks like Izuku teleports. As then his eyes go black and look like this. as he then throws a punch at Katsuki, but not actually hitting, creating a shockwave of air. As Katsuki then um decides to pull his grenade gauntlet. Izuku's using like his enhanced vision with this, using X-ray vision to see what the whole mechanism inside that was doing. Him doing this, going at super speed, so it's in slow motion, so he can analyze it. So he decides to say dilemma to go around his gauntlet and to contain the explosion, and to hold it there for a few seconds. As that happens, containing explosion, then Izuku points his fist up and then shoots it off. This creating the whole explosion that was there by the end of it, which is how they won. As right before they finished, Izuku does a whole karate chop to the back of the neck, this knocking Katsuki out. And that will be the end of this video. So, this part. So, like, comment, and subscribe if you want. And have a good day, good night, good evening. And, well, have a generally good time of day, whatever it is. Goodbye.